Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Damn it, not that one. The other one, the new one. That's better. Yes, so this is the brand new Flight Simulator. The other day, actually yesterday, was release day, so I deleted everything I had and started from scratch. Yeah, that was an entertaining 4 hours watching a 95 gig download. Okay, so what better way to test out the simulator than doing a quick bit of stress testing? So let's go ahead and do that. So let's select... Oh, what the hell is this? I think these are just pretty clouds. This isn't supposed to be realistic, I don't believe. Alright, so let's... I always find that a quick trip... Why is the Thames not... Never mind. Oh, hello! We've actually got an AI aircraft in the air. Just the one. It's the Houses of Parliament Tower Bridge. So, there you go. We're going to take off from London City. And we're going to go via Heathrow. Then Farnborough. Down to Gatwick. There we go. What's doing, Cameron? Down to Gatwick. Because I don't think Gatwick is one of the high-detailed airports yet. By default. So let's check that out. So Heathrow is, Gatwick is not. So we'll compare the two, and we'll stress test things along the way a little bit. Okay, so maybe live weather wasn't a great idea. Yeah, it's a tad cloudy, so we're not going to be able to see anything, which isn't really going to cause my processor graphics card. Currently on live. So let's switch it to, well, I'll switch it to a few. Oh, bloody hell. I wasn't expecting it to do it that quick. Alright, okay. So now we got a few clouds. Cool beans. Alright, so let's, which button was it? Brake, I have, I think the only assistance I've got is takeoff rudder assistance. Everything else is basically turned off. Oh, I remember now. I need to adjust the sensitivity on my stick here. So 50, 60, 70, and we are up in the air. Look at that. So let's climb out. Up. Look at that. Look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. Let's just, whoop, I'll upward drift a little bit. I'll stop. Look at that. Look at that view. Look at it. Just look at that view. That's, on the first reactions are, this is amazing. Right? That's just first reactions. There are a lot of issues. Just be aware of that. Don't think that the world is going to be perfectly represented. It really isn't. What we're dealing with here is satellite data, and mapping and stuff, and a lot of it has been interpreted by an AI. One of the things that I'm really digging about this is the fact that I've done very little by way of tweaking. In fact, none. Okay, I set the graphics settings during the initial setup and walked away. So I've actually done no tweaking whatsoever, and I'm getting some pretty good performance. You know, if I had this level of detail in any other flight simulator on the market at the moment, I would be getting some pretty choppy frame rate. I'd be probably down in the 15s as far as frame rate goes. Now, let's just remember a couple of things right now, though, before we continue and start waving our hands in the air and saying how fantastic this is. There's very little AI traffic in the air at the moment. Okay? That's the first thing. The other thing is there's a lot of other add-ons or additional information that has yet to be plugged into the simulator. Okay? on the face of all that, I'm still getting a pretty respectable performance. How respectable do you want to know? Well, you know what? I've got this on window mode, capture display instead of capture window, so I can drag a couple of things over. So there's core temp, and there's GPU temp. Well, that's what the sim is currently doing to my computer. That's not bad. Are we done? Fantastic. So this is the kind of graphical performance that I would expect to see from a flight sim, or anything to be honest, written today. Okay. There are some other flight simulators out there whose performance is reasonable, but not on this kind of level because the developers have gotten, for want of a better word, lazy. Or, no, that's not the right word. Complacent. Their fan base are just, I guess, used to the performance they're getting. And since no one's really complaining about it, and they're not, the amount of competition out there isn't particularly high, they don't really need to worry too much about it, do they? Again, it's hard not to be impressed by the scenery. The fact that it's looking this good in a base game. I didn't have to spend $50-$60 to download add-on scenery. What's going on with my what's going on here? To download add-on scenery. It came like this. And that's the big thing. And this is the default airport for Gatwick. Again, no love, base game from standard telemetry. And we can see there's a bunch of gates and stuff down there. Whoops. There we go. We got some aircraft parked. You know, we can see a lot of the imagery here. It's a little torn. That's where the AI is trying to interpret the images that it's being given to make usable taxiways, runways, and aprons and stuff. So we are going to land here, and we are going to try and taxi to a gate. A gate? No, we'll taxi to GA parking. Alright, so we'll reduce the throttle a little bit, and look at that. Default airport. It's had no extra love, it's not a download, it's just a default airport, and it looks pretty damn good. Okay, I'm just going to look over the nose a little bit. I'm way too high. Well, we can do something about that just by taking some power off, can't we? The one thing I am liking is this glass cockpit here is showing me where I'm lined up, because the nose of the aircraft is off-center. Oh, this is a horrible landing. I apologize now. Alright, there we go. So we are now down. Where's the nearest exit? Should be one coming up here, I think.
Diamond X-ray Golf, Sierra return, next taxiway.
Alright, and Bloom. There's our guides. Now, if you don't know how to turn those on, I'll show you in a moment. Because they're not on by default. You have to guess where you're going. Actually, okay, not guess, but so again, it's important to remember that this is just a default airport. This is not one of the ones that they've sat down and given a great deal of love to. This is just as it comes, which is pretty impressive. So we'll go around here, and there we go. There's our parking spot. So we've got this nice big blue box around it, just to show us where our parking area is. And look at this. We've got guys. We got our guy waving us in here. Look at him. Look. Back in. Further in. Further in. Further in. Slow down and stop. Done. Look at that. That is a really nice touch. I don't know why he's there, but okay. Alright, now to end the flight we have to turn the aircraft off. How do you do that then? Okay, so there we go. I mean, initial impressions, this is actually really good. We're off to a really good start. So I think you'll agree that the flight over London there looked absolutely amazing. And a lot of the places that we're going to be seeing on live streams and videos for the next couple of weeks are probably going to look pretty spectacular. But let's remember that a lot of this information, this data, the scenery, is coming from satellite imagery and satellite generated height data. So what happens when there's a problem with the data, and how does the AI deal with that? Well, let's take a quick look. We have an elevated lake. Let's pop the external camera. There we go. Alright, so let's bank around. So this river, this tributary comes down, and then it looks like you've got a gold mine or something. I don't know what the hell this might be. But yeah, just take a quick look. This lake here is elevated above the river itself. And if we follow this around, we'll see that this whole elevated bank goes all the way down here. It looks like a cliff right there. You see the edge here. This whole little piece of lake is just elevated by, I don't know, what would that be? Almost 100 feet by the look of it. Yeah, look at that. Look at the river flowing uphill. Good stuff right there. Alright, let's make sure we don't fly into the side of a mountain here. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be flying in a 747 at 16,000 feet, this probably isn't going to bug you too much. As long as the airports that you land at are nice and well done and accurately portrayed, then you probably don't care about the occasional lump in a lake. Anyway, so would I recommend this to anyone else? Well, without getting on my soapbox about other simulators, yes, I would. As we've seen, the game engine on this has been very, very well optimized. I flew over London with very little trouble. I did a live stream today on Twitch, flew over New York City. No problems at all there either. No frame rate drops, no twitches, no nothing, no stuttering. It was absolutely smooth, and I was very impressed. Obviously, there is a lot still left to do. They're going to be working on traffic, getting commercial airliners in here. Helicopters are coming in. They're supposed to be in the last quarter, I believe. We're off to a really good start, and I think that this is raising the bar for what we should be expecting as far as flight simulation goes. The hobby has been stagnant for too long, and I think this team has brought forward the entire hobby to a place where it needs to be. They're taking advantage of today's technology, and they're using it properly in the simulator. And I can't wait to see where we end up.